Matthew and Keira are here now, and I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Fantastic.
It's great. It's the kind of film you don't see very often. It almost had a kind of it had a strong period feel, I felt. It almost had a kind of touch of brief encounter about it in the way it was shot.
Yes,
and everything.
take that one.
Yeah. Can we put that on the poster?
Yeah.
No,
Sort of
it
brief encounter.
Yeah, there you go.
even better.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Your mother wrote the screenplay for it, didn't she? And you helped sort of push it with your contacts. You helped to push it through a bit.
I did, accidentally, I think.
Right.
No, I mean, when I was working with the director John Mabry, who also directed this, on The Jacket when I was 18,
Right.
my mum actually came up to Glasgow to visit me, and she had just written the script and said, look, will you give me some notes on it? And I read it and just went, that's amazing, it's really beautiful. So gave it to one of the producers. And he said, is this something that you're interested in doing? And I hadn't even thought about it, but I just thought I'd say yes so that he might read it.
Yeah.
And so I accidentally kind of got involved.
How much of the storyline is absolutely true? I mean, obviously it's based on real people who walked under the sun and all the rest. But I mean, how much of it's true, this extraordinary menage between Dylan and these two women in his life?
Not quite sure.
I think
I think a lot of it.
Yeah, it steers
quite accurate.
very close to the truth.
Right.
But it is a fictional story. I mean, it's based on fact, but it is fiction.
Yes.
And I think we've had incredible support from the families of all parties, really, who've been fine with the fiction.
Well, for you, Matthew, I mean, you've Welsh is your first language, presumably you've kind of grown up with Dylan Thomas and recited his poems and all the rest of it, so it must have been an extraordinary experience to play him, was it?
Yes, absolutely. It's sort of a double-edged sword in a way, that, you know, you get the opportunity to play this hugely Welsh iconic figure, but at the same time you have to do it, so the pressure was there as well.
Was he as sexy a man as, I have to say, I'm speaking because I watched it with a lot of women, and they found you very sexy. Well, they did, they really did. You smouldered. Well, actually, everybody smouldered, because I've never seen so many cigarettes smoked in one film in my life. There's always a fad going on.
Yeah.
Was Dylan actually a sort of a sex symbol in his circle?
Absolutely. Especially in the research I did, reading up on him, especially when he did his American poetry tours, he was like this rock and roll figure.
That's right.
And he, you know, maybe not known for his looks, but, you know, his charm and his wit and his talent was just mesmeric.
But you play him as being, I mean, in this, he's a bit horrible, really. I mean, certainly where the women in his life
Well, he's
are
utterly
concerned.
selfish. He's utterly childlike in his selfishness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's actually been fascinating, hasn't it, talking to people when they've seen the film, because the take on that character in particular is completely different. Some people say that he's demonic and horrible, and other people say, oh, he's mischievous and childlike and wonderful.
He's like a confident 15-year-old.
But
intellectually confident and sexually confident. There's a great scene, we haven't got it to show here, where you're in a bath when you're now living in Wales, and you're sitting there chatting to him. It's all very modern, it's all very bohemian, you know.
Yeah.
Just to explain the story, you'd met as children.
Yeah,
You've known each other as children.
Childhood sweetheart.
Yes.
Childhood sexual partner on a beach when you were 15.
Yes, exactly. Right, but you haven't seen each other for ages. Meanwhile, you've got married, and then you meet again in a bar during the war.
Thunder booms.
Yes.
But I was going to say that so later in the film there's a scene when you're naked in the bath and you're sitting very casually in the bath and you're chatting and stuff, and you suddenly look at her, fix her in the eyes and say, go on, give us a kiss. And you do. And it's very modern in that sense. I felt like I was looking at it as a sort of kind of a student drama, maybe set in the 1980s or 90s, you know?
I think that's quite interesting when you actually take people's perception of the 40s and what it was actually like. I'm sure it's quite different. And actually the research that we all did specifically about the characters and about that period in general, I think what you're dealing with is young people who are living in a time where death is literally raining down around them, and you hold on to life with absolutely everything in you. And I think it kind of explains a lot of the behaviour, some of the behaviour.
That's what I thought.
That they go through.
Because the Blitz is a constant backdrop to the film when it's in London. There are bombs dropping almost all the time. There's two wonderfully shot sequences, one in a pub, where you think everyone's been killed, then all the lights come back on and it's fine. And then a much more black and dark scene. But anyway, let's see a clip of, you've only just re-met, and you're in a London pub, and being... Were you both 25? Were the characters 25 at this point?
I think Dylan's,
I'm not quite sure. About 25.
About 25.
Mid-20s. The sophistication, you know, this sort of intellectual elegance of these young people at that time is something I think which is almost unique. I don't think you'd see that with a couple of 25-year-olds having a drink in Soho today. But anyway, let's take a look. This girl Vera, I mean, despite the fact that she surrendered her virginity on a beach to Dylan Thomas when he was not much older, as we see her in the film, she's no pushover, is she, at all?
No, she's not.
She's got a lot of spirit about her.
I think that's what's wonderful about the film, is that you've actually got, and it's really rare, you've got two really strong female characters in it, and very often, I mean, you really don't get that. It's normally you're the only actress surrounded by a lot of men, which can be very nice, you know. But it was wonderful to actually have the opportunity to play this character who is quiet but very strong against Sienna's version of Catelyn, who is this sort of vivacious, extraordinary creature, and see a friendship between two women that are completely different and yet mutually respectful of each other.
Yeah, it works very well as well. I mean, the accents, your Welsh accent is terrific. And did you coach her?
I didn't know. I didn't at all. She turned up on day one of rehearsals with that accent, absolutely perfect.
How did you do it? Pluck it out of the air, or did you go to...
fun. I don't know. I mean, half my mum's family is Welsh, so I suppose it's always sort of been around. But I really like working with accents. I find it so... I really enjoy it. It's sort of like diving into a completely new person.
So you've got you Welsh, you were okay. You've got you being Welsh, you've got Sienna being Irish, and you've got Cillian, who is Irish, of course,
being English. Yeah, we actually all nearly swapped accents. Yeah, it was good. I mean, we had every time we had somebody on set that actually spoke in the real accent, so we could constantly go, is that the right sound?
Yeah.
Is that okay? That's good.
Well, let's see another clip. You do a fair bit of singing. In fact, the film opens with you singing.
Yeah.
And I'd say that you must have read the reports, and maybe they're true, maybe they're not, that you might be doing My Fair Lady as Eliza.